Broadcasting live from sunny South Florida, this is KMA Talk Radio. Life, liberty, and the pursuit of fine cigars. Your KMA crew, the Italian Scallion, Paul DeGracco, Alex Tavella, a.k.a. The Goat, and always telling it like it is, Honest Abe.
I like to smoke them like the Winston Churchill, like John Kennedy, yeah. Remember Coach Red Auerbach, smoked up for victory, yeah. Well, you can take my wife, you can take my car, but you can't take my big cigar. My cigar, yeah.
Good morning. morning to all our loyal listeners, libertarians, and lovers of the leaf. I'm your host, Honest Abe Babner, for KMA episode number 446, broadcasting live from sunny South Florida. I am here with my trusted cohorts every Saturday morning, the Italian scallion himself, Paul DeGracco, and the man they call the GOAT, Alex Tabella.
Good morning.
Look at that mug.
This Saturday morning.
Excellent mug.
Oh, tell us about the DeGracco crisis.
There's a crisis this morning.
There's a DeGracco crisis.
It started, well, one, I can't find my earbuds, but it started this morning.
Is that a crisis?
No, but I'm just saying I can't find them. It's just uncomfortable wearing headphones again, like back in the day. Last night my son Eli fell and hurt his toe, I guess. Seemed fine, went to bed, woke up this morning, he fell again, and for like 2 hours he was screaming about a boo-boo. So my wife is currently at the urgent care with him.
Wait a minute.
So that's the crisis.
Wait a minute. Yeah. Wait a minute. We just went from a foot to a toe.
Well, I don't know that his...
No, it was an ankle.
It was an ankle.
Well, no. I don't know.
Whatever it was, it turned into a toe.
No. He's 1 year old. He hurt his toe yesterday, and he has like a big bruise on it, which whatever. Like, like under the toenail, it's all black. And we thought it was just that. Like he fell wrong on it. Yeah, we were like, he fell on his toe. He's fine. But today he fell again, and he's like pointing to his foot and screaming. We really don't know, but he didn't stop for 2 hours. So we were like, maybe we should bring him to the doctor.
Great advice from Sean Beaudry. That's what you should have did, and it would have been over with.
What did he say? Tape and aspect.
Seriously.
We gave him, he had Motrin first thing.
You could tell the veteran parents right away.
Yeah.
Seriously, man. The veteran parents like, my God,
I think he's fine, but why not take him?
Dave D was kind of a newbie. We never, this is a lifestyle show. We've always called it. We talk about many, many topics. It's cigar centric, but anything's open game on KMA Talk Radio, especially when it comes to Paul's life.
Yes.
Well, so anyway, that's the drama going on here.
I'm almost afraid to bust his balls on this one because, like, now I see him coming home like in a brace and a cast, and
could you imagine?
They got him on a little kitty walker. I'm like, Jesus.
Well, and I would totally milk it too. I'd be like, "Look, Abe, look."
Right. But now understanding the full story that it was a toe and not an ankle, I feel a little better about busting his balls.
Last night it was his toe.
Listen to me. My brother-in-law's sister is like a nurse, and I'm telling you, they sit there in the office and they go, "Wow, they came in for this. We could have been treating somebody who needed help." They say that. They say that all the time.
Oh man.
Let's hope it's one of those cases, Paul.
I'm hoping it is too. We normally don't. We're not those parents that like take them to the doctor all the time. I'm telling you, it doesn't. Listen. If in full disclosure, we all had COVID. I don't know, when did I end? On Sunday was my 14th day. We all had COVID, and we didn't bring anybody to the doctor. We were fine.
When was your 14th day?
I think it was Sunday.
And you were in Disneyland what? Monday.
Well,
Disney World.
Yeah.
How convenient.
Obviously.
How convenient is COVID on Sunday so we could be in Disney World on Monday?
The CDC says you can wait 10 days.
Yeah.
CDC says you can wait 5, I thought.
Yeah, but it's 5. I was reading because of something. If you had symptoms, it's like 5 days without symptoms.
Yeah.
So I wasn't 5 days without symptoms, but it was, we just had bad colds. It wasn't, but we tested positive. I didn't test the kids, obviously.
Who wants to go regards to Tommy Callahan, I bust anybody's balls who gets hit by a car. If you're on
Tommy
foot
Callahan got hit by a car,
and you get hit by a car, I just can't ever see myself. Now I've been in car accidents, but unless like you're riding in a bike lane and somebody rears you from behind, I just don't know how you get hit by a car. Do you see yourself in a situation where you can get hit by a car walking down the street?
Where do you go?
He was another guy. He got hit. How do you get hit 2 times?
Especially not down here in the city. I mean, maybe it can happen.
Yeah.
But where do you get hit by a car? Where?
I've watched it happen.
Tommy at TGS. I mean, parking lot. I mean, I don't know. I think I got too much awareness to let a car creep up on me in a parking lot and hit me.
Oh, he was riding a bike. All right. I don't know. I watched it happen, but we were also teenagers. But I watched my friend get hit by a car. A driver ran through a red light when we were crossing the street, and it slammed right into him, and he rolled over the hood.
But you see,
he was okay. He didn't break anything.
I'm never in a case where I'm crossing a street, and
You're not looking.
Yeah, I'm not like thinking, man, let me make sure these cars don't blow through a red light.
When are you ever in a situation where you're crossing a street?
If I park somewhere, going to a restaurant or something.
Once in a while, I'll do it. I'll go across the street to Publix.
Oh, that's by you. That's a highway.
Yeah, that's actually a dangerous. Didn't you have your car accident right there in that intersection?
Yeah, guy blew off my red light. I was on the phone with Ronnie Haisha. Guy smashed me, didn't flip my car, but threw my car, spun it over the median, and Ronnie kept talking the whole time. It took me like a minute to find my phone and tell him to shut the fuck up. I got in a car accident.
Yeah, I learned that. I learned an important lesson a couple weeks ago. You don't answer Ronnie's calls at like 8:30 p.m. because he's just in he's just rambling. Like you're going to be trapped till probably 10 if you get on. You're in.
I have a rule with Ronnie. He has the car ride home. When I pull up into the driveway, the conversation is over.
Every day?
No, but usually one of us will call each other at night, and half the time, if I'm doing it, it's on my drive home. So he'll be like, "I'll call you back in 15 minutes." I'm like, "In 15 minutes, I'll be home, bro. Talk to you later."
Especially since hands-free devices and stuff like that. Since I've been driving, that's when if I get in the car and I know I'm going to be in the car for more than 10 minutes, that's when I make my calls.
Yeah, that's where you absolutely. Absolutely, that's where you do it. Boom, boom. Get them out of the way.
Best.
By the time you get home, it's over. But I answered it.
Yeah, and it doesn't feel like you're driving.
I was trapped with Ronnie.
Oh, what did he want?
Yeah, nothing, man. It's bullshit. But
attention.
Ronnie never wants anything.
No, he doesn't. I mean, it's great. Listen, I love talking to Ronnie, but then it becomes like an hour and a half. You're like, Jesus, it's we started at 8:30. It's 10. We're still on the phone.
So, what was the occasion for another Disney trip? Was it the post-COVID trip, or?
We were supposed to have like a big family trip. We've been planning this for a while. My parents got one of those big villas, and actually, I should have taken pictures of it, but maybe I purposely didn't subconsciously. But we had a big villa so that my sister's family could come and spend a couple days in Disney with us. They were all flying down, her brother, his wife, and his 2 kids, to stay with us in the hotel. We had like a 2,500 square foot hotel room with 3 bedrooms, and it was awesome. But they popped COVID and they ended up not coming. So my brother and sister-in-law from Georgia ended up coming to stay with us. But it was just a family trip, get the kids together.
Well, you may have your chance to get back at me.
Why?
One of the cigar manufacturers was very kind and gifted me.
Whoa! So when are you going?
Not telling you.
Dude, I will find out.
Not only am I not telling you, there will probably be no pics about it.
You don't have to use those at the parks,
Yeah, you kind of do. It's because you can't even go to like Island or Adventure or anything. You got to use a Disney World, Disneyland, Disney Cruise, Disney Store, Disney Shop, or Adventures by Disney. That's it. Right.
So you can buy tons of great merchandise on the DisneyStore.com, bro.
Who wants Disney merchandise?
I mean, I'm surrounded by it. What do you mean?
Are you though?
Yeah.
I mean, how much Disney merch can one adult have?
Oh, here's one. Here's another one right here. I mean, we're just within arm's reach. That's Disney.
I mean, that's kind of cool.
The fact that you got the clock from
the clock from the Haunted Mansion.
Oh, I thought it was Beauty and the Beast.
I thought it was maybe like if it was Peter Pan, it would have been cool, but it's not.
This was actually a gift, though. I actually don't buy a lot of merch. Like maybe I'll buy like a hat once in a blue moon. I've been gifted a lot of really cool merchandise like that. This is Disney merch up here. That was also a gift. Those are the stretching room posters from the Haunted Mansion.
Oh. What's the Haunted Mansion?
Yeah, I don't know that one either.
You don't know the Haunted Mansion?
I wasn't going to say anything, but I didn't know that one.
Is that
either.
like a thing in Disney?
Yeah, it's a ride. It's a classic ride. I mean, there's a lot of Disney merch in here. It's all over the place. Behind me, there's Disney merch. I have an original monorail poster on the wall there. And that's from Disney.
I've never been.
There's a lot of Disney. You've never been to Disney World?
Why would you have
Don't
to go?
go with me. He's got kids. What do you mean? Why would you have to go?
Just getting to the point.
Listen, I feel like I missed a boat with Carmine too. You know, it's funny because last night I was scrolling through the app store. I was scrolling to the app store in my iPhone, and there was this new like tennis game with all the kids tennis game with all the Nickelodeon characters, SpongeBob, Ben 10, so you saw it. So I went, oh look, Carmen, I got a new game because he's an iPad guy, and he goes, yeah, I don't really watch Nickelodeon anymore. Thanks for trying though. Okay.
He's 5, right? He's not into like Paw Patrol, or is that
6? No, Paul. He sits in cigar shops and plays chess with customers.
Let me tell you something though, Alex, in your defense too. In my opinion, Paul's going to argue with me. In my opinion, Disney's really a girl thing.
I agree.
It's not a guy thing. They go and they be princesses, they dress up and they get made up, and it's really not a guy thing. It's
go Tomorrowland, bro, Adventureland,
whatever.
Pirates of the Caribbean.
Nut up. It's not a guy thing. Disneyland is so not a guy thing. Listen, kids, boys at 4 or 5 are Marvel oriented. They're not Mickey oriented.
Axel, but now that's Disney, and Spider-Man's everywhere.
It's Disney, but it's always going to be Marvel. You know, I mean, it's
I agree.
It's hard to be a fan of Wolverine and then look at Goofy.
Well, anyway, Matthew Tobacco, this is my office at home, if that's what you were asking. Where is this? Or we were talking about Disney World. I'm not sure what your question was. Does Paul have Disney on his phone screen?
Probably.
No, I don't. Oh, yes, I do. Yes, I do. The background of my home screen is me and my son at the tree in Disney.
I really feel like the whole Disney organization is like a cult.
It is. I don't disagree with that.
But let me rephrase that. I think they market themselves to be like a cult. They make their own cult. The first time I discovered the Disney Channel, and I think this was before we had kids.
That's when it was a premium channel.
I think my wife just moved. No, I would never pay for Disney. My wife just moved in, whatever, and then it was on. This is when Shia LaBeouf had that show. He must have been like 8 years old. And he's going way back. And I forgot what his show was called, but like I got enthralled in it. Like the Disney Channel might have been on my TV like for a week. We're just watching all the shows, couldn't get out of it. Then you see them cultivate all the other kids, and the kids then make video songs. And like at the end of the week, I just realized this is like a cult. Yeah. This is like a cult, man. They're getting the kids in at a young age and grooming them and going through the whole Disney system and coming out Disney young adults. And yeah, I think they've done a masterful job at making like their own like legitimate but okay cult.
It's a lifelong brand for sure. And then you get weirdos like me that get stuck in it. But I'm really more into the park itself. I don't know what it is. I just like going into the park and feeling like reality doesn't exist and living in that
Paul, you don't live in reality
world.
Anyway.
Oh, I do this.
Anybody who goes to Disneyland, anybody who goes to Disney World 5 times a year is not living in the real world.
Know, Paul.
I go way more than 5 times a year.
Worse. Thank you for making my point.
I feel like you can buy an Xbox and get the same effect for a lot less money, Paul. If you want to just escape.
I guess that's true. But you know what? We've talked about Disney this. Games. Like I like video games. I can't get into them for more than like a half hour. I don't have the attention span.
Tommy Callahan, in Paul's defense, he doesn't need to pretend. Mental illness is a handicap.
We don't have to do that.
No, he's a regular. Are you kidding me?
Now listen,
thanks,
when
Jeff.
Paul gets in line for a ride, they go, "Oh, Mr. DeGracco."
Right this
I
way.
feel like
I wish.
Hey, little Paulie, come on up.
I was inquiring about their private club. It's called Club 33, and I was just curious. But like, you can't just, even if you have $1 billion, you can't just join. You have to be invited. They do like a weird background check. Anyway, I got the information on
Club. Why is it Club 33?
It's a long story. It was the original address of the original Walt Disney private club in Disneyland in Norland Square. So anyway, I asked about it and I was like, can you like give me numbers? Like, what's the annual fee? What's this? What do you get? And they're like, well, it's only told to you when you actually join, but you get like annual passes for everyone in your house. They're premier passes that work at all the parks in the US, blah, blah, blah. They gave me like a quick rundown. And I was like, what are we talking? We talking like $10,000 buy-in, 15. And he said it's $100,000 just to join, and then it's something like a $35,000 annual membership fee. And I said to my wife, if we ever join that, we know that we've made it, but we'll never join that.
It's funny because I say if you ever join that, there must be something deeply wrong with you. Paul's like,
listen, if I happen upon $20 million someday,
I don't
because
give a shit if I got $500 million. I'm not paying $100,000 to be in a Mickey Mouse club.
Yeah, but there might be something that you'd pay that money for, something that you'd really like one day.
Listen,
I don't know.
If I had FU money, maybe, but it definitely wouldn't be the Mickey Mouse club.
Well, you and I are different people.
I could see them all in the room with tuxedos and the little Mickey hat with the ears, all shaking hands.
I mean, I don't know. I feel like if I was going to do that, I'd rather just go blow $100,000 in a casino in Vegas and get treated like royalty than at Disneyland.
Absolutely.
I mean, I always say that Vegas is Disney World for adults with sex and gambling.
Well, this isn't the same
kind of experience. No, but I'm saying it's the same thing. I love Vegas. I'm just not a gambler, so I get bored.
Me neither.
I'm not a gambler.
I'll play blackjack for an hour. And then just hang out.
I don't like blackjack. I like Ultimate Hold'em. That's fun. That's a fun tip.
Kurt Kendall's got the.
I like Hold'em.
Now that's a club.
I'm not opposed to that. I have no moral qualms about it.
Listen, I'm just gonna say this. Paul is the type of guy that,
oh boy,
if he ever did join that club, he'd be the type of guy who would fall in love with one.
The hooker
fall
club?
in love with?
Yeah.
Oh, a hooker?
Yeah.
Maybe.
You know the guys I'm talking about.
You don't have to do this.
They think it's real. Yes.
Yeah, I'll take you out of this.
What are you talking about? You don't know anything about. You only knew me when I was with my wife / girlfriend or fiance at the time. You have no idea who I am. This is the first woman I've dated for more than 6 months without freaking
I gotta
out
agree
that it was
with
getting
Coop
too
on
serious.
this one. I usually try not to agree with Coop, but he's right. He's right. A hooker is without a doubt cheaper than going to Disney.
a harem of hookers would be
seriously for as much as Paul goes.
All right, that's enough Disney talk. I ate up our morning.
Wow, why is Quentin? All right, Quentin.
What do you say?
Man,
I'm just shocked.
He has to have.
I think we tried to take Adam K once, the brewmeister.
Really? Do you know there was one of those massage parlors literally in the building that I used to work at when we had an office?
You know, you live in South Florida, right?
I know they're everywhere.
I guess
there's one like at every corner.
There's one across.
When I would leave at 5:30 at night, when I tell you, at Lake Clark Shore is not like a fancy area, nice, but all of a sudden you'd see Lotuses and Bentleys pulling up at 5:30, 6 o'clock at night. I mean, S-Class Mercedes. The parking lot would be filled with all these.
There was one right across the street from where you used to live.
From where I used to live?
Yes.
In the Villages?
Right next to Don Cheapo's.
Oh, on the in Wellington. I didn't know that. Oh, yes. If I had known that would have been a problem.
right next to Don Cheapo's.
I didn't know that.
Yeah,
that was one of those.
They're easy to point out if they're open at 11 p.m. at night. That's what it is.
That's what it is.
It's not rocket science.
Oh man. Well, I'm excited for our guest today. Friend of the show, really good guy. It's always good to have him on.
Always good talking to him. Real talk with Juan Lopez.
Yeah.
Let's get him on.
All right.
I want all of you to get up out of your chairs. I want you to get up right now and go to the window, open it, and stick your head out and yell.
It's time to meet your maker.
Good morning, gentlemen. You guys hear me?
Good morning.
Yeah, we can hear you. Joining
He's-
us from sunny South Florida.
He's looking like Tammy Faye Baker on my end. Is he blurry?
Yeah,
or
he's
you guys
got a
got him?
little pixelated, blurry.
That's his filter to make him look young.
I'm blurry.
A little bit.
A lot.
You're
I
a little
don't.
pixelated.
Listen. When you have these bad boys, nothing's gonna
Nah,
make
there
you
you
look
go.
young.
It's
Look, there's no filter there, bro.
There it goes. It's
You know
coming
you're
out.
No
Botox,
filter
you're Botox
whatsoever.
free. You're Botox free. You can
Yeah,
tell.
yeah. You better believe I am. You better believe I am. Hey, I'd rather spend my Botox money with Kirk Kendall, that where he just mentioned.
On the hooker of the week.
I'd also spend my money.
Now, Juan, you got your own harem of young ladies. How often did you go to Disney?
Once my girls turned about 6 years old, we had the yearly pass, so we went once or twice a year. The last time I went to Disney was about 2 months ago. I became a foster parent. My now fiance and I became foster parents, and this young man that we took in, that just actually left last week back to his family, which is always the end game. I'd never been to Disney, so I took him to Disney, and I called my daughters from Disney because they're older now, and I go, ladies, the one thing I'm going to tell you right now, your dad is not going to go to Disney World again until one of you has my first grandson, not granddaughter, because I got 3 daughters already, grandson, and he's got to be the age of 6 or older, so I could enjoy it with him. Because it's, to me, Disney, everything with the apps now, you got to go, everything's through your phone.
Yep.
Listen, when you go on vacation, you want to get away from your phone, right? Dude, everything in Disney now is phone. Order your food by phone, this by phone. The Fast Pass doesn't exist anymore. Now you got to pay another like $10 to get in the Fast Pass. And this, that, $8 here. Dude, it's like a money grab. It's become a money grab to me. So I didn't enjoy it. I enjoyed it because he was having a good time. And it's great seeing when a young man and Alex, I'll tell you, when you take your kid or your kids, you'll see the reaction on their face when they first get there. The excitement it makes you as a parent pretty happy that they're enjoying it, because it really is an incredible experience. Once, not every 2 weeks like Paul.
Truth. But Alex's son is kind of unique. I totally could see him going to Disney and saying, "I want to go back to the cigar shop." I could totally see him doing that.
Well,
I think Alex is right. I think Carmine is.
I was gonna say. In other words, the apple didn't fall that far from the tree, right?
No,
Well,
he's
that's
an old
probably
man,
true.
man. He's a 6-year-old old man. It's weird. It's
That's
weird.
awesome.
He is. He's like a crackety old man. That's a great description of him. He is.
He'll probably love going to. I like roller coasters. I love like Universal, all that stuff. I mean, all the roller coasters I love.
Now that my girls are older, that's where I want to take them, to the Universal and that kind of stuff. That's
a ton. Yeah. That's a ton of fun. And hey, if you get a chance, and I know that you like taking your kids around, which I love, that you love giving them different cultures. Any of the Six Flags past Florida, Atlanta has a great one. The one in Jersey, I used to go to when I lived up there when I was a kid.
Six Flags Great Adventure.
Six Flags Great Adventure. Yep.
Yeah, I've been there.
I grew up going to the one in Wisconsin or Gurnee or up there. I grew up. That's where we went every summer.
Chicago, yeah, you're out in Chicago. Yeah, up there by Wisconsin, right?
Yeah, we've grown up.
Tommy, to answer your question, Disney does have a cigar lounge in Disney Springs, but we always prefer to go over to our friends at Corona at Sand Lake.
Well, we go to Coronas when you're obviously, if you're staying by there with Jeff, but if not, you could always go to Sosa's. They have a nice shop there in that little downtown
Disney
area.
Springs, right?
Yeah,
I've been there many times actually.
Yeah,
it's small, but it's really nice. They have a good
is.
selection actually.
Yeah, good people too.
Sosa Cigars, are they still making a brand?
I remember them.
Yeah, man. I haven't talked to Arby. So Arby and I play baseball together, and I haven't spoken to him in a few years. But
I haven't heard the name Arby Sosa probably in about 15 plus years.
I tried reaching out to him. I tried getting him on the show.
Just get one to get him on.
Yeah, I'll seriously, Juan. We would
Absolutely,
love to have
I'll
them
call him for
on.
you and I'll tell him that you guys want him on. And
But
as far as I know, and I haven't spoken for him in a minute, they're not doing much. I think he might be doing some stuff. Is that Juan Sosa still works for Fuente, he might be making something for the store for themselves, but
Right.
distribution wise, I don't think they're doing much.
I mean, there was a
Yeah,
point. There was a point probably about 20 years ago, maybe 17, 18 years ago, where not only they had they had a national brand, and Ashton was even distributing it at one point, and it just, I don't even know what happened. It just disappeared off the face of the map.
Well, Kurt, you said that they sold. I had no idea they sold and who they sold to, but yeah, I mean, they were a national brand, like you said, 20 years ago, and then it just went away, man.
Yep. So I was going to bring this up later in the show, but you segued into it. We're going to talk about this because but now that you brought it up, we might as well jump into it. Certain things you could pick up from somebody. One of the things I always admired about you was your relationship with your children, right? As a parent of 4 kids, you're very close. And for a guy who's on the road and a road warrior, you're extremely active with your kids, and just looks like you have such admiration and love for them. Now, when I found out you had become a foster parent, which the idea of foster parenting is always just kind of been something that has intrigued me, because it seems like it's more painful for you than it is the kid in some of these cases, especially if it's long term. I mean, I find it to be such a selfless thing to do. Can you just, if you don't mind sharing, because I think this is a great story and should be shared. What led you to want to do this, and then how was this was your first experience? I don't even know. How was it?
So what led me to it? So I have 3 daughters, right? So women now. One is 25 years old, works for sells for surgery parts and all this stuff, knees and L shoulder.
Medical sales.
Medical sales. She does really well. My middle one is now works for Ernst & Young as a forensic accountant in DC, and my little one is 16 years old, sophomore in high school in Miami at Lourdes Academy. So I'm up in Broward now. I'm up here by the office. So I bought a home up here. And I got to see my daughter, my little one, my oldest daughter. I see, holidays because one is in DC, the other one's in Miami. She's busy working, whatnot. And my little one, I see once every 2 to 3 weeks. She'll come. She actually now has become like a regular thing because now she's turning 17. She's got her car, and she brings all her friends over. They hang out in the pool. They want to hang out with dad and or wings, that and the other. Anyways, I didn't get to see her as much as I like to. And I was on a flight, funny enough, watching the movie Queen's Gambit, or that show Queen's Gambit, and that was an adoption. And I know that Bianca and I have been talking about, not adoption. She doesn't want to have a kid. My factory is closed, if you know what I mean. I closed my factory down. And
Smart man.
And I said, I think I think we should look into fostering. So we started doing the fostering, and during COVID. So during COVID, it was crazy. So we had 18 families that started the process that took almost 8 months to get certified. So why did it take 8 months? So it was crazy to me is the following. So you got 18 couples go in, they do a background check. I mean, everything. They literally have to get transcripts from college. It was everything. Then they come to your house, they visit your house, and they're like, wow, this is a beautiful home, this, that. You have to put all these alarms, this, that, and the other. Anyways, it took 9 months to get certified. Out of the 18 families, only two families got certified. There's Bianca and I and another family.
Wow.
They're really
Is that because they quit, or did they get disqualified?
No, some quit. Some people just don't qualify. Background checks. They come see their home, and if you don't have alarms in every, dude, it's when I tell you, Abe, that you have to have alarms in every door, every window. The beds have to be. I have a 4-bedroom, so every bed's got to be away from the window as an escape, even if you only have, have a little kid. The pool. I have a pool. I have to get a baby pool.
The gate.
Yeah, the gates. Yeah,
I have to get it. Which as soon as they came, I put it up. As soon as they left, I took it right off and whatever. I'm like, so then the process took a while, and then they finally give us that one phone call, and we said absolutely. So we go to this place called ChildNet and pick up this little man. His name is William Cizir. He's a 8-year-old. Man, I get emotional because I love the kid. 8-year-old Haitian kid. Father's in jail for the next 20 years. The mom is in and out of jail all the time. He's got a smaller sister with a different dad. Anyway, so his grandma on his dad's side literally put him into the fostering because she couldn't handle him. We took him in. And the first thing, he gets in the car, and I have a Tesla. Jim's old Tesla. I bought from Jim.
Oh,
so
okay.
I got the Tesla.
Oh, I love that car. I love that car.
Right? And he gave me a deal. So I he gets in the Tesla. He's like, "Hey, Mr. Juan, it's a Tesla." So I do the whole hauling ass so you can see how fast it goes, and he's all excited. So he gets to the house and he walks into the room and he goes, "Mr. Juan, Miss Bianca, is this my room?" Yeah, I go, "Yeah, the one with the king size bed, 16-inch TV, a workstation for your homework and all that." Absolutely. He goes, I never had my own bed before. I've always shared my bed with my sister and my mom. That killed me, bro. That like got me and destroyed me right off the bat. And then to lighten things up, I go, "So William, I have a question for you. Do you have a nickname?" And he goes, "Yeah, they call me King." I go, "King?" He goes, "Yeah, they call me King." And I go, "Why do they call you King?" He goes, "I know my dad and my mom always call me King. My uncles call me King." And I go, "Okay, son, so listen. In my house, you're going to be called Big Willie. I'm going to call you Big Willie." And he goes, "No, but I like to be called King." I go, there's two kings. There's Burger King and me. and so he goes, "Burger King?" And he just tripped out with the whole Burger King. And I called him Big Willie, and great young man. Dude, he got here, didn't go to school for 1 full year, so he got held back. Bianca and I sat with him. He came in with a kindergarten reading and writing and math. And when he left us after 4 months, because he went back to, now he's with his auntie that got certified. At the end of the day, they want him back with the family, right?
Sure.
Yeah.
The state does. And the lady's a great lady. We met her. We go visit her. He came over the other day. We surprised him at school, picked him up, spent the day with us. So I'm not going to lose touch with him because I know he needs some kind of father figure and someone that'll be got his back. And he's a great kid. So again, man, it was when he went to leave. Was probably one of the toughest days for me because I got to fall in love with this kid, and then everything we did was we set goals for him. So he goes, "Hey, Mr. Juan, get me some Air." So I have Air Jordan. He goes, "I want some Air Jordans." I go, "You want Air Jordans? Okay, so we're gonna do a chart for you. After 30 days of completing all these tasks, I'll get you the Air Jordans."
I saw the video.
You saw the video, right? That's right. Video. So he went crazy. I took him to a Dolphin game. He had never been to a Dolphin. Dude, this kid experienced in 4 months what? No, dude, Dave, you'll love this. I took him to Joe Stonecraft's in South Beach. I don't think I'm taking my daughters there. So this guy's going. He's blew him out of the water, and he loves Bianca. He loves me now. Now he's getting hundreds in his spelling test. He's now in 3rd grade reading and math, which we're very proud of. That we helped him do that, and his auntie being a nurse, a very responsible young lady. Hopefully she'll stay the course and continue to work with him because he's a bright kid. I just think a lot of these young men are set up to fail because they go back to the same neighborhood.
They can't break the cycle.
You can't break the cycle, man, unfortunately. But
I really believe that, for a lot of them, they don't know another way, right? They don't know what another universe or world is like for them to be or maybe possibly live or have in their life. So, you can only hope by what you've shown them in 4 months that you realize, man, there's different possibilities out there that can be done. And
absolutely. I even took him to the office. He met everybody at the office, loved the building. Listen, I'm gonna stay in touch with him. Funny enough, as soon as he left,
that's what I was gonna ask. I mean, you literally bond with this child for 4 months, and then obviously you go in knowing you're going to return the child into his own family.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, you want to definitely, in your mind, you definitely want to stay in touch, right?
Absolutely.
How does that family feel about that? Are they all right with that, or is it awkward?
Yeah, so we are in Disney. We were in Disney. We went to Disney for Thanksgiving. Okay, so we took him for Thanksgiving, and we hadn't called his mom, right? And go, "Hey, listen, call your mom. It's Thanksgiving. That's family time." So she gets on the phone. They talk. We leave him alone in the room. Let him talk to his mommy and his sister and whatnot. And then I come back in like about 30, 40 minutes later, and I go and I start talking to her. And she's like, "Mr. Juan, please, anything you do, you need to stay in touch with my son. You become a great father figure to him. So has Miss Bianca. You guys are just amazing. All he raised about you and him, and he told me that you was telling that you're a leader, that you can do whatever you want. Don't get caught up in the BS in the streets. When a leader doesn't follow people, they follow you. And when you do good things happen to you. And I tell him I would tell him repeatedly all the time. And he remembered that. And he told his mom that when he tells his mom that he only sees once a month because that's the only time she's allowed to see him for an hour. That means a lot to me, and it means that he's definitely listening. So it's just putting a little bit, he's putting a little bit of a positive, twist on a negative situation for him. And listen, I grew up without a father, and my dad passed when I was 3 years old. My mom never remarried until I was 25 or 23, and then and I tell my daughters, any mistakes that I've made with you, just remember you're only practice because I'm going to be the best grandfather in the world. So. As a dad, because anyone could be a father, not everybody could be a dad, right?
You told me that when I had my first son. You like Juan's a great dad. I don't know if people out there know, but Juan and I talked a lot when I was first becoming a father, and he gave me a lot of really great advice. And I remember that very specifically that you said that to me. Anybody can be a father, but not everybody can be a great dad, and that stuck in my head. And
listen, and I never had so when I went through the process, my daughters are like, "Really, Dad?" I go, "Ladies, it's a boy. I never had the boy. You guys are not having my grandkids anytime soon, right?" So it's boys. So they were cool with it. Now they love the kid. Now they're keeping in touch with him from DC, from Miami. Every time
awesome.
oh yeah, dude, yeah, absolutely. They love him. And my youngest daughter's friends that come over love Willie, and they hang out and he's a great kid, man. And listen, we're not gonna let him fail, but unfortunately, just by him being gone for a week, and then we picked him up in school on this past Monday, you could tell that his demeanor changed already. The verbiage, the way he's talking, the attitude went back to the hood street. So I had to let's bring it down. Let's bring it down a notch. Let's go back to slow down how you speak, because I could barely understand what you're saying when you start talking crazy. And you got to slow down. And then I took the kids in the neighborhood. They came. I bought a basketball pole for basketball. So we have a basketball thing now. So I got the two kids around the neighborhood. They know him. Came to play basketball, and they're saying the same thing. They're like, "Will, man, you're too much. You're extra." They said you're extra because he's like, he makes a basket. He's like, yeah. He starts talking crazy. Like he's like a dude. And I hate seeing that because that's not what it's about. But again, like we talked about. He went back to his own neighborhood, Pompano Beach. He's Mr. He loves Pompano Beach, and because
he's with his mother now.
No, with his auntie. So his mom cannot be with his mom until she finishes all these parenting classes to get him back. The 32-year-old woman, in and out of jobs, grew up in the hood, never really went to school. I mean, 2 different baby daddies. I mean, it's a tough go for him. But I did promise him, Bianca and I did promise him that we're going to stay in touch, and we will. And yeah, he's not going to fail, bro. Not under my watch.
It's great, extremely commendable. Do you plan on doing the process again?
Yeah. So you'll love this one. So we got, as soon as Will goes to his auntie, they call us right away. So we have a 12-year-old. So I said from 5 to 11, boy. So they go, we have a 12-year-old that's been, because you get to pick and choose. You don't have to take every kid that they send your way. We have a 12-year-old that's been living in the streets with his 21-year-old brother for the last 4 months. I'm like, that's a no. And I rejected that, dude. There's no way. I got a kid that's living with his brother in the streets. His mom is in jail. That dad lives in California. No way, no how. No. That's not gonna happen, dude. That's that'll become a headache because at 12 years old, you come in here and be 5'7", 5'8". I'm only 5'9", and there'll be a fight, and then I'll get in trouble because believe me, there were times when this kid that first got here at 8 years old answered back to me that I said to Juani, stay the course, calm down. But inside of me, I'm like, I want to get this kid I go. He knows what he's doing. That's why he gave me all girls. Because dude, he will answer back, and I'll be like, I mean, I screamed at him once, and he froze, and he never did it again. But yeah, man. So yeah, every month, every week, they'll come to us because we're certified now for the next few years, and they see the house. They see where the kids are going. They see what we did with William, And yeah, man, we're going to do it again. But right now, I'm in the process of remodeling, the outside of the house and all this crap. So right now we're on a holding pattern.
Well, it's a story I definitely wanted to share with our listeners and fans. I think it's amazing, and I like I said, we all commend you on it, man. That's a very selfless act, because, like you just said with your last example, you could really put yourself in a real headache of a situation very easily. So,
the first thing I did, and I learned this in the process, I put cameras everywhere inside my house, except obviously in the bedroom, because it's illegal to do that. At least that's what they told us. I got cameras inside my home and outside my house everywhere now, because they said you could run into an issue that a kid could say, "Hey, Mr. Juan or Miss Bianca hit me or touch me in a certain way." Dude, it's crazy that's something they have to tell you, because it does happen. And like they told me, they told me don't befriend the mom and the dad. Well, I go, the dad's in jail. Don't befriend the mom, because the mom will be one of those people, and it happens quite often, that will be calling you, "Oh, William needs this, William needs that." And then if you keep giving, they keep asking. And the more you give, the more they ask. And there's been scenarios. I mean, I don't want to get into the scenarios that they told me about, but it's pretty crazy stuff, bro. So yeah, I have cameras all over my house now. Like, if my phone's always going off, ding ding, anything moves, the phone goes up to this armband and shit. But yeah, man, it's a great process. It was great to share the time with him. He's an amazing young man, and I think he's going to be okay. But I'm never going to lose touch with him. He's my dude. I got a picture of him with my kids. He's now in the kids fame, the kids wall. So
logic would only tell you that there's way more potential for something bad to happen than the probability of something good to happen. So I mean, I'm just telling you, God bless, man. That's very selfless of you.
Thank you.
And speaking of the three girls, bro, Juan, that's only because you quit. You were a quitter, man. You had to go. You had to do like me. You had to do that one more.
Coming from you, yes, you're right. Hey, I didn't quit. I just realized that Lures Academy is $50K a year for 4 years. wait, plus the cars, the college, this, that.
Oh man.
Listen, I'm gonna tell you, I have to share this with anybody out there who's listening, who's young. I know some of our socialites in our social Facebook group, they're just having their first child, or they just had their first child. And I'll tell you this, because Juan, you make that statement. I've heard that out of Paul's mouth like 800 times about what it costs with kids. And one of my nearest and dearest friends, actually a gentleman who I met the first 2 months I moved here in Florida, and I think I spent the first 2 years almost having dinner at his house with his 6 kids.
Wow.
At least 3 or 4 nights a week. He was the first $1 million seat in Wall Street. He moved down here at 44, 45 years old, retired. But the best advice he gave me, because he's got 6 kids, and I was single. I don't even think I was dating anybody at the time. I just moved to Florida. And, then I started getting serious with Brandy. And one of the things he told me about was, because I put off getting married because I wanted to afford the wedding, and then talked about kids. Well, I'll afford the kid. He gave me the best advice. He goes, just have them. He had 6. He goes, when I had my first 4, I was broke as hell. He goes, the kids will motivate you to find ways to provide whatever you need for them if you're a good man. It was like one of the best pieces of advice he gave me, because I remember when my first daughter, we had him in private school. I'm like, oh my God, I'm paying this bill every month. I mean, literally, like I had to look at my bank account every month to make sure. Then I had 2, then I had 3. But you know what? I just kept working harder. My business kept growing. And I tell that to every young person who works for me, who's starting a family, or they're at that point when they're thinking about having kids. I'm like, if you want them, have them, because the rest of the stuff works itself out. If you're going to be a good parent, a good husband, a good provider, you figure that stuff out. You find ways, because your whole mentality changes, right? When I was single, I was going clubbing and out every weekend, dropping hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of dollars, like I was a movie star, like unlimited funds. That all changes, because now you're like, oh, this one night out is like this month's tuition for the kids. So everything changes in how you live your life. And if you're out there, man, and because I try to say life is really all mathematics. If there's anything in life you really should be good at or have a grasp of, is mathematics. And what I mean by that is, we all have a limited time, and God knows how long. So you have to start doing some math. If you'd like to know your grandkids, maybe throw a football or a baseball with them, then you need to figure out when you're going to start having kids, because otherwise that window of opportunity is going to be gone. If you want to walk your kids down the aisle, kids aren't getting married at 20, 23. They're getting married at 32, 34.
Yep, you're right.
You got to do the math.
Yep.
So, if children is something and a family is something in your life goals, in your life plan, don't put it off. The rest of the shit will work itself out, man. Start. That's my best.
Dave, I'm with you, and you're right. And I have a lot of buddies, and Nick Nanovich, and he's got 5. He pops his kids out like they're Tic Tacs from the canister. I mean, the guy every other year it seems he has a kid. But you're right. It's just my girls, Miami. Once you have 3 girls, and I know you have the same. Girls are time mongers. And all girls really want from their dad is for your dad to listen. They want to talk to you. They want you to listen to them. They want you to listen to them and spend time with them. The one thing going back
until they're about 16 and you're in their teens, then they don't want to talk to you at all.
No, you know how it goes. This is how it goes. So it goes from the age from the day they're born to 14, 15 years old.
Exactly.
Daddy. Right? 16 through 18, they graduate high school. Those 2 years, they want to talk to mom only. Mom, dad, you don't know anything. Dad, not every guy's like you were in high school and college, or or this and that. Then they go away to college. Second semester comes around. Hey, dad, you're right. That guy wasn't asked. I go, what the fuck do I know? I was that guy. I told you the guys are a bunch of assholes.
Yeah.
So it's like, and it's so right. But you know what? Now that they're in their 20s, I talk to my girls so much. My middle one the other day called me. She wasn't feeling well. And I kept sending her, she's like, she likes this guy. He doesn't like her. She's a professional. She's beautiful. She's amazing. And I go, listen, when you go looking, you're not going to find anything. It's going to find you. Take your time. Yep. You're young, you're beautiful, you're successful. Don't worry about it. Guys will come. And listen, and you have the diamond and the pearl. And you're successful. You're a smart young lady. You stay the course. It's going to come to you. It's fine. Don't worry about it. And it's stuff like that. And that was a 1:30 in the morning call that we sat on the phone till 3 a.m. talking. And it's little things like that. And man, girls are just tough because they're listen, women are way smarter than we are, bro. Women are next level. Their mentality. That's why I think women like to go out with older men because a woman.
Women mentally mature before young men.
Yes, absolutely, 100%.
They mature earlier without a doubt. But listen, you're probably too old for this. See, KMA Talk Radio, we give life advice. This is a life advice show. This episode.
It really is.
But I'm going to share this. It's probably too late for you because maybe your last daughter, but I struggle with the 3 girls. I grew up, me and a boy. We were never exposed to young girls growing up, or having sisters, but I came up with an analogy on my oldest daughter. I'm going to pat myself on the back. I think it's brilliant. I think I want to share it with anybody out there who has young girls growing up, because what we fail to realize is how mature we get. And then we start thinking we want our kids to be as mature with the wisdom that we have. We forgot what it was like to be young and emotional and not have reason, right? Mm-hmm. We expect them to have reason. So about 6 months ago, my oldest was bummed out. I had met my wife after KMA, we met to go have lunch somewhere with the kids. My oldest was bummed out. I'm like, what's going on? And of course, one of the sisters told me the story. I guess some dude played her or whatever. And she was all upset about it. And I was really taken up. I said, man, I thought she was smarter than that. What can a guy at her age, at 13, 14, we're all putzes.
Right.
I don't care how cool you think you are. You're a putz. 12 to 14, you're a boy, you're a putz. And I said, how could you got under her skin? So I let Brandy take her home, and I let Brandy take the rest of the kids home. I took her home, and we just started talking. And I'm like, she's trying to explain her feelings to me. So I came up with this analogy I really thought was brilliant. I said, let me ask you a question, because my daughter's getting to the age now where she's like, what kind of car do you think I get? Whatever, and I'm like, yeah, whatever you get is what you get if you get anything. So, I said, let me ask you a question. If I told you when you turned 24 years old, I said, what's your favorite car? And I think she said Corvette. If I told you when you get 24 years old, I'm going to buy you a brand new Corvette. I said, but you're going to be 16, 17. You're going to want to drive. So up until you're 24 years old, I'm just going to buy you whatever clunker I can get. You know, the safest vehicle I can get at the cheapest amount of money. I don't care what it looks like. I said, would you have a problem with it? And she said, no. I said, why? She goes, well, because I know I'm going to get a Corvette when I'm 24. I said, that's boys in life. Okay, your Corvette does not come at 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. You'll be lucky until you find your Corvette to your mid-20s, because that's how long it takes for men to evolve.
So true.
Okay, but in the meantime, every other car is a clunker. You ride it around, you have a good time, you go from A to B with it. That's every boy until that day.
Very well said. I love that. I'll use that. That's good. That's fantastic.
Let me tell you something. Her disposition changed. I was so proud of myself. I really was. Her disposition changed instantly. It clicked in her head how irrelevant every guy for the next 10 years is most likely going to be.
A clunker.
That's it. Doesn't mean you don't go A to B with it, but it's nothing you're ever really going to care about because the prize is so far down the road. And that's your life goal. And I'm telling you, anybody who's got girls, remember, steal that analogy, man, because I'm just telling you, I saw the instant change in her mood. It clicked. She realized it. Because it's hard to get them to mentally connect emotions to logic. But it just put it in her thing and use that analogy. I was very proud of myself.
You know what? Knowing your daughter, though, like, I can't imagine what it's like to be a father of a daughter, because like, I know your daughter pretty well, and her and I sit down and have good conversations. And obviously since, I mean, I've been around 5-6 years now, like I've seen her grow from a girl into a woman. And she, like, it bothers me that she's interested in boys. Like that's like getting to me. I'm like, no,
listen, dude,
she's
look,
too young.
I'm 39. I have 2 boys. I'm with Juan. I mean, I'm honestly looking to close the factory down. I don't want to roll the dice again. I mean, seriously, I'm seriously considering closing the factory down. I'm good.
I'm in the same page as you. My wife is not. So as Abe always says, well, she's the one that decides. So if we have a third boy, this house is going to be crazy.
Oh, dude, and boys going from my nephews and friends that have boys, dude. They're energy mongers, dude. They don't stop, dude. It's like
if we had the boy first, we might have stopped.
Yeah, your son has endless energy. Yeah,
bro,
your son is a character.
He's a terror. Destroyed. There's nothing that doesn't get destroyed in the house. He's a terror.
Yeah.
Terror. That's what kept egging us on. We had these girls. They were so nice. You gave them a coloring book. They sat. They never did nothing. They were just let's have another one. No. Then the boy came, and we were all caught off guard. What is this? He's tearing everything apart in the house.
The Taz.
Literally, Tasmanian devil.
That's here.
Truth be told, if we started younger, Brandy and I have said it physically beat her up, but we probably would have popped out 2 more kids.
How old were you when you had your first kid, Abe? Were we around the same age?
I think let's see,
35?
So I was 43 with Asher, maybe 34, 35.
Wow.
Okay, that's the same as me.
I started at 25, 26.
Yeah, I was 30.
I mean, that's the kind of window. My dad had me at 27. I mean, 25, 26, 27, if you're settled down, whatever, it's a good time to start a family.
Yeah.
Because you'll get to know your kids and your grandkids, because now it's made it even harder because now our kids ain't getting married till later.
Yeah,
they're also career driven and everything, and I think about that all the time because I started so late, I listen, just to put it in perspective, right? I'm going to be 60 years old when my kid graduates high school.
Dude, I was doing the math in my head in the shower this morning. I'm like, all right, Carmine's 6. Sonny's 1, so all right, he'll 15. I'll be 55. All right, by the time he's 18, 20, I'll be 60. So maybe at 60, I can go do whatever I want.
Yeah. Alex, last night as I was leaving, was dreaming about quitting and being broke and playing chess all day in a park somewhere.
Yeah, that's my lose my mind and be broke in the beach.
I said, why do you gotta be broke? Why don't you just retire and have money and play chess all day in the park?
Well, because chess is going to take my sanity, so I'm just.
That's what it is. It's like it is mine to be this like chess park player. He has to be a broken down guy. It's part of the character, I guess.
Life goals.
Yeah, I mean, I see the benefit of having kids in your 20s for sure at 38 with a 2-year or the 3-year-old and
But, I mean, there's two
2-year-old.
sides too. You don't have the wisdom in your 20s that you have later on. So
yeah, I would have been a terrible father in my 20s. I was not a great person either. So like I feel like I wouldn't have been.
Yeah, I was more of a terrible husband than I was a terrible father in my 20s. That's just a true story.
Juan Lopez.
The mindset was different.
Juan Lopez always bringing the honesty.
No, they do. Listen, and if you talk to my daughters, they'll tell you, "Oh, my dad's awesome." But the one thing, my dad, as much as he travels, and I'm a 2 million miler, American Airline, flying mile. I'm that guy, actually flying miles. And they're like, my dad's gone, but my dad never missed volleyball game, soccer game. If we had a birthday, a party, this, that, I always make sure that I was there for my girls. And listen, those people have the mindset of, you're done at 18. Your kids are your kids for the rest of your life. I don't care what anybody says. Right. You're not done at 18, nothing. It's all bullshit. Your kids are your kids for the rest of your life. So now let's talk cigars.
Yep. We're gonna go to a break, and after the break, we're gonna get more with Juan Lopez. This is a crippled week for KMA, so we do not have a tail of tape season. It's gonna start next week. And
we have We have a one-off tail of the tape.
We have a one-off. We have a special tail of tape edition. That's right. I almost forgot about it. We have a special edition of tail of tape, but we're gonna have more with Juan Lopez. Are you ready, Paul?
Oh, I'm ready.
No. Okay. We're gonna have more with Juan Lopez right after this. Keep it lit.
Surgeon General warning: cigar smoking can cause lung cancer and heart disease. Currently available at your favorite cigar store, the Romeo y Julieta Reserva Real Nicaragua is another fantastic collaboration between AJ Fernandez and Rafael Nadal. Landing a #1 cigar of the year of 2020 by Cigar and Spirits magazine, the Reserva Real Nicaragua is handcrafted at Tabacalera AJ Fernandez. This Nicaraguan Puro is a medium to full-body cigar that is packed to the brim with flavor notes of leather, coffee, and red pepper, which pairs nicely with a spiced rum. Available in 4 sizes, Romeo y Julieta returned to prestigious form with the Reserva Real Nicaragua that should be enjoyed by all. Surgeon General warning: cigar smoking can cause lung cancer and heart disease.
Hey, babe.
Yeah?
I'm almost out of wine and I want to order some online. Where should I order from this time?
KMAWines.com, of course.
KMAWines.com? What's that?
What's that? What's that? Hold on a second. Let me show you. You see, KMA has teamed up with Bonner Fine Wines to offer KMA listeners a fantastic deal on a Malbec 3-wine sampler. You see, here is their famous Malbec grown at an altitude of 8,950 feet. 3 wines from the edge of the world. An old French Malbec variety no longer found in Europe. These 3 wines, 200 years in the making, yours, KMA listeners, for 53% off. Normally $130, but like I said, KMA listeners get 53% off. That makes it $69.99. So what do you think?
I think we should order.
I agree. And done.
Honest Abe here, smoking cigars. It's that time of year again, the Great Smoke. For over a decade and a half, we've been hosting one of the country's biggest cigar bashes, where aficionados from all over the world would trek to South Florida for a 4-day extravaganza. In 2019, we themed our event for the first time, 70s disco, Can You Dig It? And it was one of the biggest events we ever had, and we look forward to the very next one. Unfortunately, the world was hit by a pandemic, and cigar events and functions were being canceled all over the country. Our team was poised with the question, what do we do? Do we cancel the event? Do we do a half-cocked event and just get by? No. Instead, we put on our thinking caps and put on one of the most epic 7-hour virtual events that was enjoyed by thousands and viewed by tens of thousands of people all over the world. Our event in 2021, the digital experience, forever changed how these types of events will be done. So this year, for the first time in 2022, the Great Smoke, the Last Luau, will be both an in-live and virtual event experience. We had hundreds of people who contacted us early this year telling us how much they enjoyed our virtual event this year, how they had never participated in one of these mega events because they were unable to take time off for work and travel and come down. So this year we're going out of our way so that people can enjoy the event in their own home as they did earlier this year, and also do it in live. Michael Herklotz of Ferriotego Cigars and Kim Keeney will be returning in 2022 to reprise their roles as co-hosts for The Great Smoke. As we did earlier this year for the first time, we have worked with select manufacturers to make very limited TGS releases. We got Aganor Salif, Espinosa Cigars, Dunbarton Tobacco and Trust, Room 101, and ADV Cigars. They will each be making a very limited run of TGS edition cigars, exclusively to ticket holders for The Great Smoke. There will be a series of special virtual events between the end of November and the beginning of February, where all these TGS limited releases will be offered prior to the Great Smoke event. So you will need to get your ticket in advance to be eligible to get into the very special TGS virtual store to participate in these events prior to the Great Smoke date. As always this year, we're going to have a very special dinner hosted by the Red Meat Lovers Club and special guest Steve Saka from Dunbarton Tobacco and Trust. This is going to be a last luau feast like you've never seen before, and all attendees will get a very limited RML, it's Red Meat Lovers cigar, made by Steve Saka just for this event. So what do you have to do to participate? Go to thegreatsmoke.com, secure your ticket, which will get you the last luau party back. Now, whether you're virtual or coming live, everyone will get the same epic package. This is the most epic Great Smoke package we've ever made in the history of this event. Almost $450 worth of swag and 40 premium cigars that'll either be delivered to your door or handed to you the day of the event. As always, during the Great Smoke, we'll have mega raffles and prizes, and whether you're at home or there live in person, everyone who gets a ticket is automatically entered. The event dates are February 24th through February 27th, with the main event being February 26th. And whether you're there in person or live watching at home, we're going to have 5 special virtual sessions and interaction with what's going on in the event floor, so you can actually see what people and what things are going on as the event is happening. Tickets go on sale this Friday, November 12th, noon Eastern Standard Time. I urge everyone out there to get their tickets early. They'll let you participate in all the pre-virtual events we're going to have with the manufacturers who made limited releases, and it'll secure your ticket, because our feeling this will be the most epic year ever as far as ticket sales and how fast they'll go. To get your tickets and for more information, go to www.thegreatsmoke.com. The last luau, baby, because this will be the last luau you'll ever need to go to. Peace! Welcome back to Hour 2 of KMA Talk Radio, everyone. Honest Abe here. We are broadcasting episode number 446 live from sunny South Florida, here with my trusted gang, as always, the Italian Scallion, the man they know as GOAT, and the man who always tells the truth, the way I like it, our good friend Juan Lopez. That was a very life-motivating, family-oriented, educational first hour of KMA Talk Radio.
Yeah, it was.
It always is when Juan's on.
When do the virtual packs get shipped? You guys got to read the bottom of your invoice or read anything on the KMA website. I'm not answering that question anymore. Sorry. I'm just done. I've got 8,000 messages. My favorite is they'll send me the screenshot of their invoice. I ordered it. When does this ship? And right there in all caps at the bottom of the invoice, it tells them when it ships. I'm like, just look at the picture you just emailed me.
So, Juan, start off on a lighter note. We had a little chatter in the comments. Is that a Johnny Blue dispenser behind you we see?
And as you can tell, it's empty. So I got one of these. So this bad boy right here, right there,
There you go.
That is cool.
Right there, you go, right there. There it is. So I was in North Carolina at a Craig Cat store in Tinderbox, and I saw them, and I thought they were cool as hell. So I bought one for myself. I was putting wine in it, then you clean it up, and then I started putting my scotch in it. It's just cool. I have my buddies over, and they come, they pour themselves. I don't have to be, like, you guys get up and do it. I actually bought one for Gianluigi for he's a big wino, so I got him one for Christmas. and yeah, man. So yeah, it's definitely empty because last night I had a few, but it'll be full again soon enough.
It doesn't serve it chilled. It just
no, it doesn't chill it. But I got those Johnny Walker balls that have the Johnny logo on it. Put one of those and just open the tab and let's go. And the blue goes really fast. It's real.
I'm sure it does.
It tastes so good. It tastes so good when it hits your lips.
I think we should reach out to Kevin Shahan and ask him to make another Bonner Wines commercial. It's probably the only way we'll ever get a new one made.
Well, the one that you saw was pretty cool. The one for the KMA Wine Club.
It's actually the best one probably made.
Yo, let me tell you, that's a hell of a deal. I was online already looking to buy it to try it. I like drinking wine too, but that's a great deal. I mean,
which one did he play?
Yeah.
Which rerun?
The Malbec when he comes out of the shower and
Kevin Shahan.
That was Kevin Shahan.
Yeah.
I have Kevin. Speaking of him, I have his video that we can share if you want to watch it.
Paul, you're such a putz. You know what? You know what? So here's a guy who's so unprepared, right? And I was just texting you because I knew you were going to be a putz. Here's a guy who's so unprepared. He gets sent the link for Kevin Shahan. Doesn't even watch the video. Has no clue for the context of what it is. Because you're not supposed to talk about it. Had you known about it, you're just supposed to start.
I'm reading his messages.
Yeah. Just go ahead and run it.
Play a video at this point.
Then you can catch up and learn and read about
my text from him said that it's for when they're on the show.
Right. It's a teaser for when they're on the show.
All right, here we go. Can you see it?
Yeah.
No, it's supposed to. Yeah.
Oh
boy. Can you at least full screen it?
Just either full screen it or stop it and play it later, man. You're killing the whole mood and vibe of this man's hard work. If you can't full screen it, stop playing the video.
All right.
Because you're really just like ruining this guy's hard work.
How's that?
Yeah, now mute everybody.
How much longer is this going to take, Poison Ivy?
Be patient.
Be patient. Be patient. The show has already started. We need to hack into the show before the guest comes on, Ivy. Before. Do you want me to interrupt the guest and look like a jerk? Do you?
Of course not.
No, because that is something the Joker would do. Interrupt a guest. Do I look like the Joker? Do I look like a clown to you, Ivy? Do I make you laugh?
Of course not, babe. Just a few more seconds. I'm having trouble with the Wi-Fi.
Oh, really now? Who would have thought that getting good Wi-Fi in a 100-year-old clock tower would have been so difficult? I'll tell you who. Me. I told you this wasn't going to work. We should have broadcasted from the lounge like I wanted to. We could have gone in after hours. Nobody would have known any different. But no, Ivy. You had to make a grandiose exhibition into the show. And this is what we got. Ivy?
Yeah, babe.
What's the red light on the camera mean? Are we live?
It just means the camera's ready.
Oh, okay. Well, since the camera's ready to go, are we about ready to go, Ivy?
Almost there.
Jeez. Now I know how Abe feels with Paul as a producer every week.
What did you say?
Nothing. Ivy?
Yes.
Why can I see myself on KMA? Are we how long have we been?
Just go.
Hello, Honest Abe and loyal KMA viewers. It is I, the Riddler, and we have hijacked today's show. In just a few short weeks, we're going to release something upon the world. And Honest Abe, there's nothing you can do to stop me. Riddle me this, Honest Abe. What is made not of the people, but for the people? You'll find out in just a few short weeks, Honest Abe. You'll find out. KMA will find out. The whole world will find out. You're supposed to cut it. The whole world will find out. Listen, this is why we rehearse this over and over and over again, Ivy. I wonder if Paul needs another job. You think he looks good in tights?
Oh, hold on. I got to unmute you. You have to unmute yourself, Abe. You muted yourself. You're muted, Abe. Abe, can't hear you.
No truer words were ever spoken. This is literally how Paul and I talk every week.
I do look good in tights. Just so everybody knows.
So that's just a little teaser video because our guest next week is Kevin Shahan. So we'll see what happens next week. That being said, let's get back to our man, Juan. Juan, TPE, you going?
No, man. So they kept sending the guys over at Cretech kept sending the emails. This lady Dawn and then Sergio's the president. They kept sending the emails for the booths to my marketing person that hasn't been with us for a year. And so they reached out to me like, "Hey, man, you're not in here." I go, "No, I want to be in it." But then I go, "Now we don't have any space. Everybody took it." I go, "Well, I don't want to be part of the, the little stand-up. I want a booth, right?" And they were going to make a booth for us, but on the weed side, right across from the premium cigar side. And then I go, "Don, so what am I facing on the premium side?" And she's like, "Well, it's this big wall that Altadas has like a bar or some kind of bar." And I go, "Yeah, that's not going to happen. So I'll get first dibs. I'll go next year, and we'll hold off this year." I did give my representatives and the retail stores a TPE deal that's going to run through the TPE event. So there will be a deal for the TPE, and I also passed the deal on to the guys over at Cretech. And so, yeah, we won't be there this year.
Do you really find it imperative to your business to be there?
Man, no, it doesn't.
I mean, is it just a company? Is it a company vacation write-off?
Yeah, see, I don't think it's necessary. I've been to Vegas so many times, hey, just like you, I'm sure, man. I'm over Vegas, dude. I've been doing this for 25 years. I've done all the trade shows. I'm over Vegas because when we go to Vegas, it's work, and people don't get it. Oh, you have the best job in the world. Yeah, no doubt. But when you have to get up at 7 in the morning, get ready, go to the show floor, work 8 hours, go back to your room, take a shower, change, entertain customers until 2, 3 in the morning, and do it again and again and again for 3-4 days for 25 years. I always tell people, Vegas IPCPR, PCA now, to me, it's like every year it takes like 2 years of your life. So it's just because it really does. It's the hustle, the constant grind at those events. I think TPE, it's a good thing what they're doing. I'm a PCA guy. I'm loyal to PCA, but TPE does have its advantages for a lot of the newer brands that they want to release something new, something different before the trade show. But as we all know, the big show for us is PCA.
I see a lot of the manufacturers, like I think Altadis is doing it now because I just saw Alan Rubin chime in, but now they're making like TPE releases.
Yeah, no, I don't.
Isn't it just kind of getting silly now? TPE releases, PCA releases, TA releases.
Dude, to me,
pretty soon we're gonna have Thanksgiving releases, Valentine's Day releases.
Yeah. Right foot release, left foot release, raise your hand release. I mean, listen, it's become to me that the limited edition, limited releases is a little bit out of control. I think everyone in their portfolio has a lot of good cigars, great cigars that they should be promoting and giving it legs so it can develop. Because at the end of the day, we're the ones that are supposed to develop the cigar, create the euphoria for the cigar, so they come to your store and purchase from you, or go online and purchase from you. And I think just keep doing the same. The new release, limited edition. Every other week, it seems like somebody's doing a limited edition. And there's so many. Their portfolios are so huge. You got companies that have limited release every month, or limited edition every month. To me, it's just crazy. I get it. It's a nice infusion for the company in sales and cash. I get it, but it's just overwhelming, and I think it takes away from the creativity side of the industry and making guys wait until the trade show for something really special. If you notice, a lot of the companies nowadays, we were one of the ones that would do like 5 releases every year. Now it's 1 release. That's it. 1 release.
I remember one year on KMA, I busted on Rocky, who was an advertiser of the show. But I busted on because I think he had like 11 releases at the trade show. I'm like,
yeah,
it's crazy. It was out of control. But I want to know why Alan Rubin is correcting something that nobody said. Are you listening to the show, Alan? No one ever said it was a TPE exclusive. We literally said TPE releases.
Alan, who literally just only cares because he gets a free trip to Vegas. Otherwise, he has no interest in TPE or PCA or any other thing.
That is a true statement. No, yeah.
We got a question for you, Juan.
We got a question from John Myler. So you're not a trade show guy anymore. What's your favorite part of the industry?
Man, just meeting different people, going out. I don't mind trade shows. I just think just going out there, meeting different people. What I noticed this year that I started traveling again this past year, 21, is the new smokers. There's so many new smokers. There's a lot of 25 to 35, 40-year-old guys who are not just getting into it. That's what I love seeing. It's the new smokers, educating those guys, because you got the old guards that go, yeah, I don't smoke Gurkha, I don't smoke this, and I tell them no, well, I don't smoke Gurkha. I go, well, when was the last time you smoked a Gurkha? Because it's companies change, and it's and I understand they have they remember Gurkha from 9-10 years ago, whatever it may be. The companies changed. We're focusing more obviously on great cigars, tone it down a little bit on the packaging, and spend our money and going to the the better factories, the better tobaccos, and that's what we've been doing. But it's meeting people, doing events, educating the customer, the end consumer, on the new products and in our portfolio, which is a pretty large portfolio that seems like every year I have to sit down and cut stuff down because the humidors don't get any bigger, our portfolios do. And that's now do that times, how many companies are there? So in any given year, you could have, 30, 40, 100 new releases from the different companies all put together. There's no room in the humidors. So you got to take something out. So that's the part I like the most, is the creating and educating part of the industry.
I find it very fun. I'm getting distracted by the Alan Rubin dialogue and the chat about the and $30 waffles. I really am. You talked about Gurkha 10 years ago, and I have to admit, as a consumer and retailer, the company's slowly been, I see it every week on Facebook, the company's slowly been winning people over with changing the perception. And I think that's been key to working with some key manufacturing companies to make premium, really good cigars. And I think we've seen it with people who have said, you've been in our Cigar of the Month Club, and I can't tell you how many times I've seen people say, I would have never bought this cigar. I thought there was never a Gurkha I'd like, and they would end up liking that cigar. But you're working with companies like Aganorsa and El Artista. And what was the big point of turn where you guys as a company said, we're going to start working with some really top manufacturers to start making, I hate to say better cigars, but better cigars.
Yeah, it truly started. I think it truly started when Gary Himes came to the company, 12 years ago when I started with the company. And, we got there, we sat with Kaizad and we said, your cigars are museum pieces. Museum pieces, what do? They sit there. No one could afford them. And it is what it is. You're not, you're selling to the 1%ers, $30, $40 sticks. You got to make, cigars that everybody could afford with good quality. So that's when we started our brick and mortar store with the Cellar Reserve. So the Cellar Reserve line is still our number one selling brand of cigars on our portfolio, followed closely by the Ghost. which is made by Abe Flores. The cellars are made by our friends at Cuevas, that we've had a relationship with them over 20 some odd years with Gurkha 12. And then you got Abe Flores, again, always done the ghost for us. That man can make great cigars. He really can. He knows what he's doing. Unfortunately, some of his stuff that he makes for himself, and I tell him all the time because I love the dude, it's not up to par where it should be for a guy that's got the talent that he does. But then, when the Arganosa came in and Jim Colucci came in 4 or 5 years ago, Arganosa, we just started working now with Ram, making great smokes. I was smoking here, which is the Revenant. And yeah, I think the turn was focusing more on the tobacco, a little bit less on the packaging, educating the customer on the new Gurkha, what Gurkha's about. Listen, the inexpensive stuff is going to be out there. It's for those different guys. I know a lot of people that are online are really focused on cigars, that they like the limited, the smaller companies. I like them too. I smoke Saka stuff all the time. Mi Querida is one of my favorites. Shorty Espinosa, I smoke all his stuff all the time. Awesome smokes. And like that is a lot of companies, right?
To clarify for those who don't know, Shorty's Eric Espinosa.
Shorty's Eric Espinosa. That's a name that we've had. He's been called that for a long, long time. We've known each other forever. But again, it's I think that the newer smokers are easily influenced by what people say online all the time. What I tell them is, don't be influenced, don't be a follower, be a leader. Take it upon yourself to try different stuff, because you never know what cigar you're going to find that you're going to thoroughly enjoy. So
true statement. And I want to get into the Revenant a little bit because that's one of your newer cigars by a company that we've had him on the show, Ram Rodriguez of El Artista, a guy who's really starting to make a little bit more waves in the premium cigar industry. But you talked about how people feel about cigars, and I want to address a post you made this week on social media about what the best cigar is. And I don't know if Paul has a screenshot of this or I'm going to read it, but I'll read it anyway. You made a letter, and you posted it this week on Facebook, I believe. And you wrote, "What's the best cigar? Throughout the year, I'm frequently asked, what's the best cigar? I always have the same answer, and it usually makes people step back for a second to reflect. This time of year, we find ourselves surrounded by top cigar lists. They're printed in magazines, online, every blog, and hitting our email boxes for end-of-the-year countdowns. As I sat enjoying a cigar last night, I was reflecting on what's going on in the world today, and these lists popped into my head. Why do we constantly allow others to tell us what to think? How could another person tell me what the best cigar is when this is completely a subjective question based on my own palate? How could you enjoy a full-bodied cigar if you're a mild medium smoker? If you don't like spice, sweetness, natural, or Maduro, how can you and I enjoy the same cigar to the same degree? The truth of the matter is that it's not even based solely on palate. It's based on a meal enjoyed, the company surrounding, a memory that can't be forgotten. The best cigar is, quite simply put, the last one you enjoyed. And for that reason, it's different for every single person. And for that reason, at Gurkha, we make a cigar for every person's palate." Juan Lopez, VP, Gurkha Cigar Group. Very interesting perspective. And my question to you is this. Do you feel that, so from what I get from this letter, you're feeling that these cigar lists are trying to tell people what to think? But is it that, or is it telling them what they think? Because I'm always, constantly, I don't make lists, but when I put cigars in our Cigar of the Month Club, it's what I think consumers, the majority of spectrum of people who are going to get them, will really mostly enjoy my selections. And I think the people who agree with that end up wanting to use our suggestions more because they feel our palates coincide. I think that's what happens at the end of the day. When I was growing up, I was a big movie buff. I'm still a big movie buff, but I would always go by Roger Ebert's reviews because when he did a review, it's what he thought about a movie. But I would always, when I go watch it, I'd end up agreeing with his review. So he became my go-to guy. If I really wanted to know, should I go see this movie or not? Let me see what Roger Ebert said. But this letter almost makes it feel like that you think these lists are trying to control what people think. Am I misreading that, or is that?
No, it's yes and no. So I didn't want to be that rude guy. So what I really want to say in the letter, because this says that you have a drink and you're smoking and you're like, so much I want to say, but you can't really say it. I mean, I broke down a few lists, right? And you are going to like the big list everybody listens to, right? So Cigar Aficionado,
Is there some reason why the camera's locked on me while Paul's talking? There you go. Thank you.
So Cigar Aficionado, right? So you look at Cigar Aficionado's list, right? Listen, I'm a big Padron. Everybody knows in the cigar industry, my favorite cigar is Padron. That should be cigar of the year every year because I think the most consistent cigar in the cigar industry is made by the Padron family, period. My palate, my opinion. In saying so, if you start looking at the list, if you go to a list of a smaller little guy that is a boutique guy, he won't have any Padrons in there. He'll have strictly small boutique companies, top 25, fine and dandy. That's his thing. That you could do that. You go into Cigar Aficionado. If you look at the top 25, out of the 25, 24 advertise. That's just reality, right? The one other guy that got it, or two guys were Cubans because they can't advertise, but it comes from the same umbrella if we know what we're talking about. So to me, that's what obsesses me a little bit is the fact that people run to this list and people make their own list. Listen, man, the list is this. You have, as a consumer, this abundance of amazing tobacco and amazing guys that create cigars, the C Sagas of the world, us using the Cuevases, using Ram, using Aganosa, I mean, there's so many others I can mention that don't be afraid to stray from the list that they're telling you about or whatever list you're reading and try different things because you never know you're going to find that gem that you're going to enjoy. And that's what I meant by it. It wasn't really people telling you what to really smoke, but I think the lists are so off to me. There's so many great cigars that's why I said the best cigars are the one you enjoy. And it depends on your mood, who you're with. If you had a good cocktail, had a bad day, good day, it all makes a difference when you're smoking a cigar. But to me is try different ones. I try everybody's cigars because I'm in the business, been doing it for a while, and I thoroughly enjoy a lot of them. Like, Abe, your packet for Christmas. I smoked already of the 25. I smoked maybe about 15 of them. All really good smokes. There was no real dogs there. They were all really good cigars. And again, stuff like that is what I tell people is like go out there, try different ones, try everybody's cigar. Lists are lists. Everybody's gonna make a list. Listen, you can sit down, anybody, and you can make a list if you want. And people are gonna listen because you have a good palate and people know who you are. But it's what you enjoy, what you like, and don't be afraid to try different stuff. I mean, that's just my mentality.
It's funny because at the end of the day, you got to realize that a lot of it is a business, right? It's one of the reasons why I don't do a top 10 list, of anything, because I just find it hard for anybody to take my top 10 list seriously or make it plausible. Because at the end of the day, I've seen some retailers do top 10 lists, and just looking at them in the basic knowledge of 25 years I have in retail, I know those lists ain't true. They're marketing driven. They're self-promoting driven. Cigar Aficionado, I don't care how, yeah, I'm gonna say it.
Go ahead, say it.
Yeah, I don't care how they try to make it seem unbiased. There's no universe in which I'm believing that politics and business doesn't come into play at some level somewhere. So, but how about all these guys who really don't make a living on this industry? I mean, they cover their nut or they make a few bucks, but they all have real jobs, who really make these lists. You don't feel that that's good for the industry, that they're sharing their opinions? Because every person has their followers. We have our followers. Coop has their followers. Dojo guys have their followers. Kevin has their followers. You don't think it's good for them to share their feelings on that list? Because
no, I think it's good, but I think if I were to change something, make it a little bit different, would be pick the best cigar from every company or companies that you smoke or you've enjoyed, and put that down as these are the best cigars that I've enjoyed this year for Gurkha Cigars or Espinosa Cigars or Arganosa Cigars, and mention those guys as well. And in that way, you're educating some of the guys that never tried the new Gurkha, that never tried an Arganosa made product. I think that to me, that'll be more of a fair list. It's not a number thing. It's more go enjoy and try these. Have you tried the new Revenant by Gurkha? No. Have you tried the San Miguel by Gurkha made with Arganosa? No. So if you put it out there in that kind of list, I think to me makes more sense. But it takes, again, there's Sindicato. You just pop the Sindicato, same thing. And again, I think it's just you got to try different things, man. If you're gonna make a list, don't put a number on anything. Put what you enjoy, what you recommend to these guys who are listening to you or loyal to you, that maybe they never heard of or never had the opportunity to find. They'll go look for it if they respect your opinion. That's what I think.
Awesome. So let's get back to the Revenant you mentioned, and then we're gonna get coupons. So I want to get through this right away. Revenant by El Artista. Now, I'm gonna be straight up honest. I mean, we're working with them very heavily this year. We started last year. I had really never even heard of them prior to maybe spring of last year. But these guys have a tremendous history. We had Ram on our show, and is the Revenant the first cigar that you worked with this factory with?
The first full blown as far as production, absolutely. They made a few bundle cigars for us and stuff like that, inexpensive like Prize Fighter and some other stuff. But this is as far as premium. Yeah, you got the Corojo, you got the San Andres, the Maduro. Here's what the packaging looks like. And listen, so these guys have been 60 years in the business. They got tobacco from all over the world. They grow their own cigar. There you go. Thank you. And I known Ram for about 7-8 years. I met him in Germany at the Dorman show, and we became buddies. I know the guy that runs his operations here, Kevin Newman, from back on the Fiddles and King Cretek days. And dude, I knew they always had good cigars, good tobacco. And then Jim, Jim, you know these guys. So Jim and I started talking. Jim went down there. He saw the amount of tobacco he has and what he has in his hands that he could create. And this guy, he knows what he's doing. It's 60 years of doing it, but they've always been, the silent assassins. I call guys like that. They're very low profile, but you have no idea that they're making 10, 15 million cigars in our industry for other people. So when we went to them, we said, listen, we want this is what we want: medium body, consistent, beautiful looking wrapper, perfect draw. Gave us a few samples, and he hit it out of the park within 2 samples, which usually takes 15, 20, takes 4 or 5 months to get it going. This guy knew what he was doing. He knew what we wanted, and he nailed it. And this cigar, I mean, the price point, that $7.50 to $8 price range, which you can't beat. And the cigars are unbelievable, and they're doing extremely well for us. So if you guys haven't enjoyed it yet, I highly recommend them. Again, they're not a full body smoke, more of a medium body. The Corojo is more mild to medium, more of a morning cigar. But again, consistently great burn, perfect draw, and the flavors there, and it's very complex, which I enjoy. And that's how we started doing business with these guys, and now they see the orders coming in every month now, and they're like, man, no shit. So I talked to Ram, and he's like, Duane, you weren't kidding when you say you probably, we could make 500,000 cigars for you in a year ago. Dude, if it hits, it could be 1 million cigars, and you're both gonna be happy. We just gotta keep consistency. And when you go down to his factory and you see the amount of tobacco they have, that's when you go, these are the guys I want to work with.
Well, the picture that Paul keeps showing is the Maduro. You have the Maduro and Corojo version. Mm-hmm. If you're interested in trying this cigar, KMA is offering all of Smoke Inn's fans a code for 15% off this weekend only. You can go to our website and save an additional 15% on Revenant Corojo or Maduro. Use the code REV15. Promo code RE15. Get 15% off of Revenant Corojo or Maduro. And if I recall correctly, because my head's like in a million places lately, I think that's a cigar you're putting in the party pack for the last Luau Great Smoke this year. So
that is correct.
A few thousand people are going to get to try a stick no matter what.
Yep.
But if you're a Maduro fan,
cigars are very, very, very good. I just think they're smooth. The quality's there. Ram did a hell of a job, and I'm very proud of being able to go out there with my team and promote it and sell it, and I hope you guys enjoy it as well.
Well, listen, I mean, I like when companies do what you do, right? And it's hard. Listen, this is the worst. I've said it. I'll say it. I'm going to say it probably another 100 times. Worst year ever for TGS, just in regards of supply and availability. But I love it when companies like you guys, when you come to this event, you throw something new in. Why? We don't need to put a cigar in a TGS party pack that's been out for 15, 20 years, right? That kind of really defeats the purpose. Let's give our fans and the people who are taking the time and supporting this event, let's give them something new to try. And I think this was a great choice. And you guys saw the commercial during the break. I'm telling you, if you're coming live, you got time. You can get tickets if you're planning on coming in person. My prediction is virtual tickets will be out before the end of this month. So if you're on the fence, I'm telling you, don't want to hear crying, because there will be no more virtual tickets. When it sells out, it is over. So my prediction is before this month, before January is over, they will be gone.
When they sell out, all complaints go to Alex.
No, I'm giving them your personal
we
cell
split
number,
them.
Paul. I'm gonna
Me and
call
Nate
you.
split them evenly.
Yeah, Al, just tell call my attorney. His name is Carmine.
right?
Seriously.
It's literally the worst part of the Great Smoke every year. I got people who I haven't talked to in 10 years. You know, hey, my buddies all got VIP tickets. Can I get one? I'm like,
VIP, right?
I'm like, listen, I'm not exaggerating, but you know, like I've gotten 25 of these exact same messages. My friends got one, but can I just squeeze one more? It's the worst part of the event every year. That being said, speaking of top lists, it'd be interesting to hear his quick take on it. Let's get our boy Coop on and see this week what is the scoop with Coop.
Hey, yo, what's my theme music?
The Scoop with Coop. Breaking industry news. Hear it first on KMA Talk Radio and cigar-coop.com.
I gotta say this, just not with really just busting balls, but this is like a sincere thing. You literally have to be the most unprepared person I've ever.
I want you to watch.
In the history of anybody I've ever worked with,
there was only one logical thing coming up next.
Bro,
no, I want you to watch what I'm doing while I'm doing all of this.
There's literally
and Alex knows because he's done it.
He's done it. Coming up next.
I got 8 things going on. I got lists going on. I have like.
I try to talk slowly. I try to set him up. I did. Speaking of Coop in top 10,
you can see him in the background as an admin. You see him lingering there. You know he's coming.
Coop, what's up, buddy?
Hey, good morning. Hey, Juan, how's it going?
What's up, Coop? How you doing, big guy? How are you?
Good. Rubbing it, man. This is excellent. This is an excellent cigar. Yeah.
Thank you. Enjoy it.
Folks need to get their hands on this. Yeah.
I'm telling you, Gurkha's slowly changing the thoughts of a lot of people from past opinion. Listen,
absolutely.
And that's a hard thing. Look, I've said this before, right? When you have a bad rap, it's like a 18-wheeler doing 100 miles an hour down a highway. It's hard to turn that thing around. It's not easy. But I think the company's doing a great job slowly changing people's minds, getting them, and especially when people smoke them, and then they realize, oh, that Aganorsa is making this, or LRTs is making this. They're quality cigars, and I think they line up with anybody else's top cigars out there. So
it hasn't been mentioned yet today, but we've mentioned it numerous times. Gurkha made TGS 2021 party packs happen. I don't know how the hell we would have done that operation without them literally allowing us to like just consume their warehouse for a couple of weeks.
That's true. I forgot about that.
Oh, yeah.
I remember.
Yes, 2021 party packs happen.
The digital experience most likely would have not happened without their help. It definitely would have probably happened without the help of Gurkha Cigars. So we'll always be grateful for that.
Thanks, man.
Coop, what's the scoop, Bubba?
Well, we'll start off. Ferio Tego is in the news this past week. They have relaunched one of their other major pillars. It's the Metropolitan Selection. Those are some of their legacy brands that were part of Nat Sherman. So they have 5 blends that are now returning to the market. So I think that's a big part. I've heard a lot about Ferio Tego all year, all last year, right? And it was a great story. But I think this is going to be Metropolitan is going to be a really key thing to see where Ferio Tego is going right now, because that's kind of the core of where they're at. So that's something I'm going to be watching for sure, and I'm sure it's going to be getting a big push over the next few months.
I'll tell you what I caught that was interesting. I don't know if anybody else caught this, but I liked their mocked up rendition of the Nat Sherman clock.
Yes. I'm glad you said that. Yeah.
I don't think they could, or maybe they just didn't want, but I don't think they could use the original Nat Sherman clock, because that was a literal image of that was on top of their door.
That's iconic. Yeah.
That's iconic.
Yeah.
But at first glance, you don't realize it's a different clock.
It's very subtle. Yeah. And in fact, I really didn't think about it till you just said it. I'm like, yeah.
Yeah. Nice move. It's not the same clock. Paul, since you're not doing anything now, why don't you find the 2 clock images and we can put up
it's close enough, but it reminds you of, when you go to those like high-end golf courses that they all have those badass clocks on the 18th hole or the first hole. That's what it reminds me of, and it's close to the Nat Sherman, but obviously they can't use that because it's Nat Sherman. But Mikey's doing a hell of a job, man. That guy is a hardworking guy. People love him, and he's good people, and I wish him the best.
I do too. Metropolitan's one of the brands I actually got started smoking with way back when I lived in New York. So it's great to see that brand coming back.
What else you got going on, Coop?
A couple of other notes we'll make. I know we're running a little late here. Drew Estate made a big announcement this week on their Freestyle Live show. They are bringing the Acid 20 Connecticut Toro to the TPE show. So, this is the line that came out a few years ago to commemorate Acid's 20th anniversary. And they released that originally in a broadleaf. Now there's a Connecticut, which is a 6x54. Now, there actually is a Acid 20 Connecticut out already. It's a 5x54. It's distributed through Alliance Cigar, not directly through Drew Estate. But this one's going to be a national release. And they'll be, like I said, they'll be launching that at TPE. And then there'll be an online launch they're going to be doing on February 3rd. As well, so folks will get plenty of chance to see that cigar.
I get confused by the variations of it because we have an Acid 20. What rendition is that one?
This is Connecticut Shade.
Okay. Ours is the Maduro.
It's the Maduro, yeah.
It's Maduro. Okay.
Yeah. So that's it's like the second blend they're doing in that.
What else you got going on?
And then another TP launch to keep your eyes on. Aging Room Cigars.
You gotta be careful. Don't say TP exclusive. Alan Rubin will jump on you.
No, there's no TP exclusive.
There's
barely enough TPE launches. I mean, let alone exclusives. So
right.
there's not a lot of cigars that get launched at TPE. I think it's more of a buying show. But there are some, and Aging Room actually has a pretty big one. They're coming out with a 6x60 version of their Cuatro Nicaragua, which got the #1 cigar of the year 2 years ago. It's called the Grande. So I guess it makes sense to tackle the 6x60 market. And that's going to be making its debut at TPE. You should start seeing that after the show in February.
Tell you something. The Goat and I were just talking in the office the other day, and maybe we'll get Juan's opinion on this and yours too as Coop. You guys notice the 6x60 fad kind of air braking a little bit, slowing up? I mean, I don't want to call it a fad because it's been a decade long. So it's definitely not a fad, but
right.
It was blown out of the water. Like everybody's next cigar was a 6x60 version of what they made. Right. And I think on the retail shelves, and I don't know if it was that the people who liked that cigar, there weren't a lot of offerings. So the guys who came out with it, was hot and it was selling. But I think it's every brand came out with their version of a 660. It just diluted it. But I think I'm seeing the 6x60 sales. I mean, they're not dying. Don't get me wrong.
No, but they've slowed down.
They're slowing up.
Yeah, definitely. Well, I mean, listen, and by traveling the country, you see it too. I mean, yeah, listen, it's we tried to get pretty like the sexy thing with a 70 one time with the Ghost, and then I literally said, you know what, we'll let Asylum guys that know how to make those sizes. That's what they do. Let they stay in their lane. Let Tom Mazuka and Christian do their thing. And listen, we all know the top sellings are Robusto Toro, and then after that, everything else sprinkles here and there, right?
That's the truth. Churchill used to be up there. Churchill's died
out
a
the
little bit.
selling cigar 20 years ago was Churchill and Coronas, and now you can find a Churchill or a Corona anywhere. I mean, I'm
telling you, yeah, it's funny, but it's the truth. And you know what you said about let CLE and Asylum. Some of the best advice I got in my early 20s was from a father of a guy I was working with, and I use it every time today. And he just looked at me and said, "Abe, you just can't be at everybody's wedding." And I use that all the time. You just can't go to everybody's wedding, Abe. And because I was trying to do a couple different businesses, a couple different ideas. I said, "No, man, you can't do it. Just pick one, do it good." And I think that's where it's at. I think it's slowing up a little bit. You think so, Coop?
I think we're starting to see some slow up. I do like a good 6x60, but I think it's going to slow up even more this year because I do think that what we're seeing right now, this inflation thing, is ultimately going to affect discretionary income. And someone who was buying a 6x60 in the past may go buy 6x54 now. I don't think they'll go give up cigars, but they may just try to save a little money there. And a lot of guys who I knew who smoked by 6x60s that started going to the smaller ring gauges, they kind of start to see the light a little, saying, "Hey, why was I going with these 6x60s when these 6x50s, 6x54s are doing it just as much for me?" So I think we're going to see more of a change with that this year for sure.
I agree. Yeah. What else you got going on, Coop?
That's it for this week.
I have the clocks if you want to see the similarities.
There's
the actual clock from outside the townhouse.
That was on their packaging, and there it is.
I had an image of it from their packaging. It just didn't look good.
Yeah,
So it went. Yeah, it's similar, but it's the Metropolitan one looks more like a what's that? The one that they call a museum, the Movado.
Oh yeah, that's
Right.
true. Yeah, it's like Art Deco looking.
It's funny, you know. It's when I look at it now, yeah, I didn't realize that.
Oh yeah,
You're right.
but when I mean, I have a graphics background, so literally when I first
Are you
saw
sure
it,
that clock wasn't? I mean, this is a question for Mike. Are you sure that clock wasn't on the Metro?
Yeah, Michael's why he said that's the work we did in the 2018 rebrand.
Okay, the rebrand did it. Okay, that was why. Yes.
when they took Nat Sherman's name
Off, yes, yeah. So it happened before Ferry Ortega. They did, yeah.
we might not have been carrying the brand at that time. That's maybe why I didn't notice. Maybe we were. I can't remember.
Okay.
But I definitely remember the iconic art for sure. So
Yeah.
cool.
I still can't believe. I still can't believe that Nat Sherman went away. The Townhouse, especially. What a place!
Isn't it crazy?
Unbelievable.
Yeah, you're right, Gary. I found the old clock. Yeah,
Now?
the old
I
clock
wanna
was
see
on the
what it
Metro.
is.
Kurt Kendall, good comment.
That's great.
And I saw Alan Rubin made a comment. He was pretty spot on that. So the 60s, he got a good point. The 60s are not growing; they're staying the same. That's what's happening with the 60s.
Yeah,
They're staying the same. They're going to fall off a little bit, but the 60 smokers,
Alan-
those guys are going to stay the course. But Alan
Thinks he's the authority. Alan thinks he's the authority in all things cigar related.
Yeah,
He works at Santa
he-
Clara.
Wait, the real Alan Rubin. Don't forget, it's the real Alan Rubin.
No, he's the fake Alan.
This is the fake.
Listen,
Alan.
he's in a panic right now. We had snow flurries in North Carolina
Right,
last year, and his
he
flight to
might-
Vegas.
yeah,
is
yeah,
miserable.
Getting delayed on his free trip.
Imagine that, right?
Yeah.
Right there, four guys were just trying to bust on Alan Rubin at the same time.
The same
Give their word. So
We wouldn't bust
actually,
you.
I
We
gotta
wouldn't love
put-
you, buddy.
Paul, I want you to do something because now that Kurt mentioned it, what are the hands of the clock set at on that Metropolitan? I didn't and so it's what 212?
No, 10.
Right?
10-10.
I mean 10.
10.
I think it's 10-12.
Hey, it's like
Might
driving.
be
It's like
10.
driving a car. We start learning how to drive a car. You know the steering wheel. How you grab the steering wheel. There's the 10 and the 2.
Yeah, 10 and 12.
Yeah.
I'm gonna ask Michael Herclock so there's any significance on where the hands are on that packaging.
Yeah, that's a great question.
Yeah.
Question.
Yeah.
You'll have a lot of time with him coming up in a couple weeks.
In a couple weeks, you won't have a lot of time. You won't have a lot of time with him.
Well, I'm not going to be there now. I'll be out on the
No,
board.
hey, wait, you might be either urgent care or Disney. We're not sure. We're not.
I have an update if you want to feel bad, Abe.
Oh,
He has a fractured foot.
Oh.
Okay, so just so you know, when they say a fracture, that's like typically, anything that's not broken comes out as a fracture when you get an X-ray.
Right.
Well,
now he's gonna get to wear one of those little cute little booties for a few weeks. He's gonna be all excited about it.
Yeah, take a
Maybe-
picture of him and his booty.
Yeah, but Paul, can you take him to Disney still? Maybe you get on,
Well, listen, man, we just went. I'm not that crazy.
Okay.
We're not going till the end of next
I
month.
mean, you can push him in the stroller. It shouldn't stop Disney, is what I'm saying. Yeah.
He's holding out. He's holding out because if you would have that lifetime membership for $100,000, they probably would have carried his kid to all the rides.
Mickey would carry him.
The end of Paul, did you say the end of next month?
Possibly after the Great Smoke.
Is the end of next
After
month.
the Great Smoke.
Just
Don't
remind
worry,
me.
it's in my calendar.
Maybe if you go to Disney with him and the little booty, they'll let you skip to the front of the line.
That's what I was saying. Yeah, you get gold priority.
They don't do mobility passes anymore. We found that out this last trip, but
that
we were
mouse
with
just
we
gets-
were with somebody that had another
injury
issue, and they did give us the disability access actually for her, so it was fun.
You just wait.
But anyway,
wait. Now I got to crack on you. Now the fact that your wife took you with the family was it the disability? That's what they let you in.
I'm sure she tried to say it was me.
Hey, wow. Kevin Shahan just made a great point, and I just looked at it. Whenever you see an ad for a watch, the hands are always at 10:10. And if you just Google watch ads, they are.
Interesting.
95% of them are like 10-10, 10-12.
I'd like to know what the significance of that is.
I think it's just so, like he said, because the dials are split,
good.
you can see them both.
Huh.
There's something new every day.
I mean, now that I'm thinking about it, it kind of would look weird. It was like 518.
Yeah. Wait, let me see. Let's see if I can.
You learn something new every week on KMA.
Yeah,
Talk Radio.
seriously.
We are not only entertaining, but we are semi-educational.
Can you see that?
Oh yeah, look at that. I guess just because it looks good.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, I think because your eyes will look up at the both sides of the dial. That's why.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man, I think it's really amazing that when they take the photo ads, they all take them at the same time. I wonder how many of our listeners caught that.
That's awesome.
There's only one time of the day when you can
in the
take an
world
ad.
where they take product photography for their watch. It's at 10:10.
10:10. You got 30. You got 60 seconds. Let's go.
Oh, that's a good point, Bruce. It doesn't cover the logo or the name. That's actually a really great point. When the hands are spread out like that.
So before we get into our closing Insane Asylum, Coop, what's your take on the top 10 lists and the conversation we had before you hopped on? I'll give you a chance to rebuke or comment.
The thing is this: if I hear a lot of comments on these lists every year, if I had $1 for everyone who said they don't look at a top 10 list, I'd be able to retire. Everyone looks at these lists, right? We do it. It's kind of if we wouldn't do it if people didn't read it, is what I'm going to tell you. But I always tell people, what I do on my list is not what's going to fit what your profile is going to be, because again, it's an individual list. So, you have to look at really how the list is done. I hear people complain about aficionados list every year, but if you don't buy into what they're doing, then don't pay attention to it. Is what I'm saying.
No, literally,
but don't force someone to change how they do their list. Yeah,
into what they're doing. If you don't buy into it, you're right.
Yeah.
You got to buy into it.
But the other thing, Abe, you were making a point about sales, right? And this, I was talking to someone about this yesterday. If you were to pick the hamburger of the year based on sales, every year McDonald's would be the hamburger of the year. Hands down. So this idea of the best-selling cigar of the year is. That's what I'm saying. It doesn't work with sales. And you mentioned it. Retailers can manipulate that in certain ways to make it look in their favor. And they move certain cigars in their store.
You don't have to manipulate it. So it's just,
It's natural. It's not. Yeah, I don't mean they're manipulating, but like if you're carrying a certain brand, you may push that brand a lot more. So that's part of your business, is what I'm saying.
I mean, look. Here's the reality of this. Some people will manipulate it, but even if you don't manipulate it, it's manipulated. So I've never understood a retailer's list,
Right.
I don't either. Until we have a way of nationally collecting sales data, which is never going to happen. Sales is a number that.
But why does sales factor into it? Are we judging the cigar based on sales? Because that's a really simple metric to follow. If that's what we're doing.
The thing is, I guess in other things we do that, right? For example, and I hate always drawing the movie analogy, but we always recognize the best movies based on how much they've drawn at the box office, right? So I think that's ingrained in people's mind.
I don't think so. There was a lot of low budget movies that got critical acclaim.
Oh, I know, and I'm not arguing that.
That didn't get known until after the fact, and then had sales because. They got acclaimed when, nobody watched them for a while, and then it came out after the fact later.
Yeah.
Second coming, before it became real famous.
But I'm just saying it's done. It's been done in other things. I agree with you. And it's the same thing should apply to cigars. I mean, there could be a very good cigar that maybe only had 200 or 300 boxes. That shouldn't get ignored either.
If you're using sales as a metric, the small guys can never.
They can never do it. Yeah, they can never do it.
So. I don't.
The only thing that throws me off a little with some of the lists is if you have a cigar of the year, right? Let's say Ernie, right? Last year, how does that cigar go from number one cigar to not being mentioned?
That's always been the argument there. The answer is they don't review it. They don't review it. So if they don't review it, it doesn't count again. But they should review it again and give it another shot. That's what I would say. Did it go down?
How can any list? And I won't mention any names, but those of you smart enough will figure it out. But how can any list be legitimized when they will exclude a major company and player based on a personal reason?
It's fair. It's fair. You should not do that.
We won't mention any names, but it's right behind Coop's back.
That's hold on.
How do you,
That's
wait,
one
wait,
of
hold on. How do you not put, wait, hold on. How do you
That's
not,
one of
how do you
them.
not put
That's one of
Perdomo,
them.
Perdomo cigars that they make great smokes as one of the top 25? I mean, I'm just saying, dude. I smoke everybody's stuff. I like Perdomo stuff.
That's one of them. How is Saka's cigar never even got a rating? No, but I get it. But you know, I mean, you know, how can there be legitimacy then? You know, if you have a protocol and a standard and a guideline, and I think it's got to be in so many retail doors and whatnot. How do these two companies never show up?
Well, it's just you guys, Coop, you know, hey, you guys all know this, man. You know, when they do like, you know, when PCA, TA, all these guys come out with lists and selling cigarettes, they ask, they're not asking 2,000 stores. They're asking 100 stores, 50
Well,
stores.
a very small subset, yes.
That's how they do it. So you really can't gauge it. It's the stores that they go to that they go, hey, so what are your top selling cigars? So I want to say last year, and I think Yanni Garcia, which I love, and Pete got mad at me because I mentioned, how is it possible that these guys put my father, which I great smokes and I love him, but they put him the cigar aficionado put like top selling cigars. They put that cigar on top of Oliva. We all so she called me and she goes, Wani, the one thing I noticed that Gurkha's not on there. I go, Yanni, it's nothing against you. I'm actually saying Oliva. The one thing that you guys don't do is you guys don't give your cigars away. Meaning, you know, their strategy of doing the deals and whatnot is different. Oliva's everywhere because they give you good deals. They got a lot of tobacco. They're smart people, good marketing company. But it's to me is the mindset. I see more Oliva in every store than I see my father or anybody else. Again, I'm knocking my father. I think they're an amazing brand. They're growing quickly and they're amazing. But to me, when I saw the number, I'm like, how is that possible? And when I see Oliva everywhere and I see the kind of deals that Oliva gives away. And I know that my father doesn't. They don't need to. That's not what they do. And but anyway, that's just, you know. And she got upset, and I you know, now we're cool. But I used to like, it just makes no sense. But whatever, man. It's
but I don't think you were meaning. I mean, I'm taking that you didn't mean that as an insult. It's just a different way they do it. It's a different way they do it.
People, as you'll learn, can be very sensitive about it.
Sure, you know, I get that, but I see exactly what Juan's saying on that, and there's other companies that certainly fall into the same boat too.
All right. In traditional fashion, it's time for our normal ceremonial KMA closing. It's time to see this week. And it is a good story, actually. I don't know who found it, but it's good. Time to see this week who belongs in a cigar insane asylum.
Welcome to the Cigar Asylum,
Did you know I'm utterly insane? We all go a little mad sometimes.
where logic and reason cease to exist.
All right, here we go. January 22, 2022. Man donates kidney to his girlfriend's mother, and then she marries someone else a month later. True story. A man said he was dumped by his girlfriend weeks after he donated his kidney to her mother. Uziel Martinez from Baja, California, in a TikTok video said that he donated his kidney to save the life of his girlfriend's mother. A month after the operation, the girlfriend dumped him and then went on to marry someone else. I donated a kidney to her mother and she left me and got married a month later, he says. The video on TikTok was made in response to a trend in which men recounted their worst experiences with exes. The clip has been viewed over 14 million times. It has made national headlines in Mexico. There was showered support for Uziel saying, "Don't look so sad. She lost a great gentleman. Keep moving forward and find the perfect woman who appreciates you with one kidney." That was ad-libbed. After the video went viral, Uziel insisted that he was over with the breakup. In another video, he said, "Actually, I'm fine. I'm fine emotionally. I think so. I think so is she. I have nothing against her. We are on good terms." He added, "They are not friends, but they don't hate one another." Her mom better love you.
Yeah, seriously.
Video, when someone urged Uziel not to repeat the mistake, I don't think that's possible. He joked, "There's no spare kidneys left to donate. We just have 2 kidneys and I already gave one. If I only have another one for me." So he said, I can't see that happening. But you, my friend, without a doubt, qualified to be this week's inductee into the Cigar Sale.
That's why
Asylum.
Yeah, I don't
That's
know.
why I gave mine to my sister.
I want my kidney back.
Can
I want to
they do that?
No.
Oh well, I don't know.
Hold on. Logically, why can't they? If they can take your kidney, someone's kidney out, and give them your kidney, why couldn't you take your kidney back?
Well, so I'll give you.
It's like if you donated money.
I'm just saying, could it be done physically?
I'm sure I don't know if they could put it back in you. I don't
Can
know.
I tell you why they
They
probably can't?
I just want it back.
Let's talk to the guy with one kidney.
Yeah, I donated my kidney. They put surgical staples on your ureter and the artery. There's two connections to your kidney. I mean, I guess in theory they could cut those off and reconnect it. I guess. And you wouldn't reject it because it's your kidney.
I mean, sure. I'm just saying. In that situation, I fucking want my kidney. I'll sit it on top of my fireplace and look at it.
My sister.
Yeah, I want my shit back.
Wow.
I'll create something. It'll be a Johnny Blue dispenser through my kidney.
That's hilarious. All right. Well, listen, it was a very, very interesting show this Saturday. Talked about a lot of things. Juan, as always, pleasure having you on. Always great conversation.
Thank you, Juan.
Coop, always great being on, man. Love you guys, man. You guys have the best show. I love coming on here. Coop, man, love you, buddy.
Yeah, same here, buddy.
Hey, Paulie, bro, I'll chip in $5 to that lifetime membership for Disney.
I'm in too.
and I hope little man gets better, and he'll be fine.
There he is.
Wait. Hey, did you notice how quickly he got that picture? But the other stuff that he needed to have, he wasn't prepared for. Come on, man.
I've had the picture for like 40 minutes.
I'm going to make a T-shirt, The World versus Paul. Everybody's in on the ball busting. Listen, we hope we entertained you. We hope we educated you. We hope we made you laugh. Thank you for joining us this Saturday morning. We'll be back next week with Kevin Shahan. And then the week after that, we got a very, very special episode, which we'll tell you about later, but it's going to be a very interesting show. Then we're going to take a 2-week hiatus in preparation for the last luau, the Great Smoke 2022. If you haven't got your tickets, go check it out. If you want to be in one of the coolest and funnest Facebook groups on social media, go check out Smoking Social on Facebook. Everybody have a great weekend. Be safe. And until next week, keep it lit.